Stuff Works Explained. Are you here for the first time? Consider subscribing to this channel. Watch different videos that you have done on different projects. Leave a comment, like and share, as well as subscribe to this channel. And as well, hit the notification bell so that whenever we upload a video, you are notified. In this video, we'll be talking about Nairobi Nakuru Mau Summit Highway, where there has been a petition that has been filed by Motorists Association of Kenya against the toll plan. We'll look at the petitions where it argues that tolling existing highways is double taxation because we have road maintenance levy in place. We'll look at the claim that tolls will burden motorists while benefiting private investors. We'll see how they are seeking to stop this through petition in Parliament and Treasury through from tabling a toll fees bill. If successful, we'll see how the petition could delay the project and worsen the condition on this road, especially during the perennial congestion that this road experiences. So we'll be looking at the petition, the tolling debate, as well as the road ahead for this project that many are expecting to ease congestions on this busy highway. So the Nairobi Nakuru Mau Summit Highway is one of the most critical transport arteries linking the capital of Nairobi with the Rift Valley and onward to Western Kenya, as well as Uganda and beyond. Yet plans to expand and toll the 233-kilometer road are again in controversy after the Motorists Association of Kenya launched a petition challenging the financing model and tolling provisions. Let's look at the background and evolution of this project. The highway, which is part of the Northern Corridor, handles more than 20,000 vehicles on a daily basis and is notorious for chronic congestions, road accidents, as well as delays. The need for expansion into a modern four-lane dual carriage has long been recognized. Initially, in 2020, the project was awarded under public-private partnership (PPP) to French consortium Rift Valley Connect, which was comprised of Vinci Highways, Meridian Infrastructure, as well as Vinci Concessions. This was at a cost of about 160 billion Kenya shillings. The concession would have seen the consortium finance, build, operate, as well as maintain the road, recovering the cost through tolling over a 30-year period. However, by late 2020, the plan stalled. President William Ruto's administration cited concerns about high cost, debt implications, as well as unfavorable terms. In 2023, the government formally cancelled the contract, promising to review options for a more sustainable financing approach. Since then, Kenya National Highway Authority (KENHA) and the National Treasury have been in search for new financiers. Reports suggest that the government has revived discussion with bilateral lenders and private investors, but progress remains slow. Let's look at the decision to toll. The PPP structure hinged on tolling as the main revenue stream. Kenya has already experimented with tolling, and most prominent is the Nairobi Expressway, which charges motorists between 120 shillings and 1,800 shillings depending on the distance traveled. The government argues that tolling is necessary to ensure private capital flows in infrastructure, reduce the fiscal burden, as well as guarantee road maintenance. Parliament has also directed the National Treasury, Transport Ministry, as well as the Attorney General to draft legislation for a national toll fund and regulatory framework. Now we have the petition. On August 21st, 2025, the Motorists Association of Kenya launched an online petition to stop the tolling plan for this road, Nairobi Nakuru Mau Summit Highway. The petition argues, one, there is double taxation where motorists already pay the road maintenance levy fund, which was raised from Kenya shillings 18 per litre of fuel. Introducing toll on existing public roads amount to charging Kenyans twice for the same infrastructure. Then there is the question of equity and fairness. The burden of road financing is being shifted disproportionately onto ordinary motorists, while government has the mandate to finance highways from taxes and levies already collected. Then there is also the question of transparency concerns, where the organization is warns against long-term concession agreements that grant foreign companies control over critical transport corridors for decades. And then there is a set precedent where Nairobi Expressway has already raised concern of affordability, with toll fees seen as exclusionary and benefiting private firms more than the public. The petition is said to be presented to the Parliamentary Committee on Transport, urging lawmakers to block the tolling arrangement. So now let's weigh at the merits of this petition. The petition raises legitimate questions, there is no doubt. There is double taxation, and is a real concern since the levy fund was specifically introduced to replace tolls in the 1990s. Moreover, with Kenyans already struggling under high fuel and living costs, adding toll charges on existing public road could deepen inequality. However, the counter argument is equally strong. The government faces fiscal constraints with public debt already above 70% of the gross domestic product (GDP). Traditional financing through borrowing or exchequer funding risk worsening the debt burden. PPPs with tolling remain one of the few viable options to deliver large infrastructure projects without overloading the treasury. We can pick lessons from other countries. Kenya is not alone in this debate. Several African nations have grappled with toll roads and public pushbacks. In Nigeria, Lagos, proposals to toll key bridges faced stiff resistance. Citizens argued that fuel levies already funded road maintenance. However, some toll projects still proceeded with this construction, often after negotiations to reduce the rates. The lesson here is that consultation and transparency are crucial to public acceptance. Then we have South Africa, where e-toll system on Gauteng highways sparked massive opposition. Many motorists simply refused to pay, forcing the government into a costly standoff and eventually reconsidering the system. The key takeaway here is that without public buy-in, toll enforcement can collapse. Then we have Uganda, where Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, which was built by Chinese financing, charges tolls ranging from Uganda shillings 3,000 to 18,000. While the road has improved travel, affordability remains a sticking point. Still, Uganda demonstrated that tiered pricing for private versus commercial vehicles can soften the impact. These experiences underline that tolling is not just a technical decision but a political and social one. Without careful design and fairness safeguards, toll roads risk public rejection. What are the possible outcomes from this impasse? If the petition succeeds and Parliament blocks the tolling, the PPP framework collapses, forcing the government to fully fund the project. This could significantly delay expansion, prolonged congestion, as well as safety hazards along the corridor. Without a clear financing alternative, the project may join the growing list of stalled road upgrades. If the petition fails and the tolling proceeds, the road is more likely to be financed and built within the current decade. However, motorists will shoulder higher costs and public backlash could persist. So, is it possible to get a balance? All stakeholders agree on one point: the road expansion is urgently needed. The real debate is about financing. A balanced solution may involve one, hybrid financing, where there might be combining of limited tolling on new sections with government funding from the levy that it charges to keep the cost affordable. Then there is targeted subsidies, where offering discounted toll rates for public transport vehicles, or rather, could prevent fare inflation. And then we have transparent contracts, ensuring that PPP agreements are publicly disclosed to prevent exploitative terms. Then innovative funding can be used, where there can be exploration of instruments like infrastructure funds, diaspora funds, or even levies on freight operators who benefit disproportionately. In conclusion, we can say that from a project management perspective, the Nairobi-Nakuru Mau Summit road represents a classic infrastructure dilemma. A road everyone agrees is necessary, but financing model that divides opinions. The petition by Motorists brings legitimate accountability to the process, but an outright cancellation risk paralyzing progress and worsening congestion. Kenya must urgently strike a financing balance that keeps the project on track without overburdening the road users. If policymakers can learn from Nigeria's experience, South Africa's enforcement failures, as well as Uganda's tired pricing model, they can design a toll framework that avoids public rejection while still mobilizing investment. Ultimately, the goal should not just be a wider road, but a financing model that makes the road users not just financiers as well as but the real winners. So thank you for reaching this far. Leave a comment about this debate on tolling and this petition and whether the road will be constructed soon. Also, like, share, and leave a comment. Subscribe if you have not subscribed to this channel, and look out for more videos in the future. Thank you.